How's everybody today? Pete here at Spawn Fly Fish, and welcome to my happy place. Got a hook in the vise, got a hot cup of coffee. We're going to tie a very simple, very effective, low water leech. So grab your vise, grab your tools, let's have some fun. To get into this simple little leech, let's talk about this hook very quickly. This is the Ahrex SA220 size 8. Not going super big, not going micro necessarily, kind of that small sweet spot. For the bead, I do have a glow in the dark brass bead, and this is a size 5/32, and then I've got 6 wraps of 0.020 lead-free wire behind that just to hold that bead in place. And now I'm going to get some 6/0 red thread started. 140 would be great. You can use red, black, whatever. White would even work. We are going to sort of keep in mind the nightmare coloration as we go. And so for now, I'm just going to get these weighted wire wraps covered with some thread so that nothing can spin, nothing can move on me. Sort of jam that down, nothing to it. I don't know when the last time is you guys have been out fishing, but at least where we are, and I know this is the case for a lot of people right now, water's, pretty low, pretty scarce, very clear even. And so if you're not in an area with a lot of runoff, this is the norm this time of year. And so you get to these pools in the river, you want a little extra time to work that fly, at least I do. And this is the answer. Of course, you could tie this on a jig hook, but this is going to be light enough with that brass bead and all that to not sink real quickly. So I do want to throw this toward the bank, work that bank very hard in the little seams between the rocks and logs. Of course, this is going to give me a little extra time as it sinks slower to pulse that through where those fish are. So that's the mentality behind this fly today. So let's get a tail going. Got the Spawn Polliwog tail here in black. Just gonna use about half of that. Want to go roughly 1 hook length off the back end here. So I'll just switch my grip to my off tail tying hand when I mark my spot and then tie down to it to try to keep that fiber on top of the hook shank there. And voila. That's it, nothing to it. But the beauty of the Spawn Polliwog tail, of course, is this thing is going to absorb a lot of water. And once it does, watch out, because it just whips around behind this hook and drives those fish bonkers. They absolutely go crazy for it. So why not use it? Pretty simple thought process there. All right, so for this body, I'm going very simple. I said, we're just going to do a dubbed leech for this body. And so let me get a small little loop made here with my thread, a couple wraps forward and then back. We're going to close off the top end with 3 wraps around the loop, bring that little knot back up and lash it down. This thing's going nowhere. I'm going to open 3 twists to match those 3 that we used to close the top. And into this loop, I'm going to slip some Spawn Dub, specifically bleeding black. So this is a fun color because it does have some of those UV qualities popping off, and fish just happen to love it. So I know I'm tying this so that I can fish in the streams and rivers a little bit easier on these low water days. But I'm telling you right now, switch this bead out to, I've got them somewhere here, a tungsten. So like this is the model tungsten. Any of that would be great. And now you have a deeper version simply by switching the bead. That's how easy it is. Yes, you can go crazy and make this 87 different ways, but just kind of trying to keep it simple for you on nice, hopefully a nice weekend that you get a chance to go out and fish. And if you're wondering, man, I don't know what they're eating, there's not a hatch, tie this. It is maybe the ultimate in a small searching streamer. And again, one of those flies that just works no matter if you're in moving water or still water. So there we have it, nice little loop filled with some Spawn bleeding black dub. And let's get this sucker wrapped up. Just avoid that hook point a little bit on those first couple wraps. Make sure it's not grabbing all your dub. The hook points are greedy that way. They like holding on to stuff. I can see it's already grabbed a few fibers, but we're going to fix that here in short form. Might have just a little bit much on the dub here. Let's see as we get close to the front. We might pull it off, folks. Look at that thing of beauty. And get it all back. Get your off tying hand involved there a little bit. It doesn't always want to sit on the sidelines. There are ways and times to use your offhand. Let's get that loop tied back over itself now, the core anyway, and then you can rest assured nothing's going to come out of that. Trim that out. Get to our Swiss CDC stainless dub brush here. We're going to just brush this thing very thoroughly. Be aggressive. If you can't be aggressive after you put that loop in, well, then it's time to do a little work on your loop technique, because you should be able to get in there very aggressively, brush that any which way, release any possible trapped fibers, and then of course it's going to lay back just ever so nicely, and that's what we want. We want a lot of breathability in this dub, a lot of movement, and that's going to mimic our leech pattern, you know, the best way possible, that breathe in, expel out kind of movement. Easy enough. Let's add just a little bit of fun to this. I've got some crazy legs, but these are the tipped crazy legs. So these are black crazy legs tipped red. And one thing I want to do, if you look, if I tied this in by the middle and then veiled these legs side by side, I would barely get any red involved at the back end here. I do want to make sure that red shows up a little bit. So instead of doing it the normal way, I'm going to first pick so that half of this red comes halfway back. So like where the red starts will be halfway back on the tail. Easy enough, right? Go ahead and tie my side in with a couple little wraps. Call these guiding wraps. At this point, I simply match up your side the same way I did my side. I'll try to tilt that so you can see a little easier. And again, use the legs you already tied in as a little reference point. Are those going to match? Right about there is where it matches. So you see it's not quite halfway. And then I got this cute little section here above the head. So now when I cut both of these, that's all there is to it. And now I've got the portion that I really want to show exposed on my legs without having to cut them beforehand. And now I can come in and trim all four at once just to line up with the back end of my tail. Nothing to it. Pretty jazzy so far. And as far as nightmares go, this one's a dream. I couldn't resist. I'm so sorry. All right, so if you watched our YouTube channel this week or any socials, I did post about some new colors of Pintail that I've been working on. And so here is some Spawn Select Pintail dyed red. Yep, all there is to it. So sometimes you just need that little bit of extra coloration. And I am telling you, especially in our local lakes, namely there's a lake that's about half a mile north of our shop. If you have a black-red leech, you should fully expect to get into a couple fish up there. And guess what? That's kind of the case in most lakes. So don't be shy. Tie, you know, all the bright bugs and all that to match a hatch. Epic. But what about those days when nothing is moving? This is how you get it done. I'm going to bring all these fibers back here. And if you want, go ahead and get your fingertips wet. I think we're just going to go as is. We just need a couple wraps here. We don't need a lot. Less is more. Just like our dubbing in a loop, less is more. Just moves better, breathes better. Let those fibers release, and you see that's all I need. We'll call that, you know, 1.64 wraps of Pintail. And get that all tied down nice and neat. We will trim out the quill. Don't grab those fibers. There we go. That's a Yahtzee. And now finish tying off that neat little thread neck right there behind our bead. And now it's time for a whip finish. Just gonna get this sucker. We're gonna use that back side of the bead to guide those last couple wraps back. Let it stack up on itself as it goes forward. That is what we're looking for. Let's give this thing, before we put our head cement on, I'm just gonna get this little handy comb out and kind of release any of the pintail fibers that are holding on to each other as they should, right? And once you've got them released, you can see how well that's just going to flow around the body of this fly. You've got those legs trying to bounce through the canopy, so to speak, that we made with that feather. And that's movement in the water that the fish can't help but eat. And that's what we're looking for. I don't want to have to guess and go, man, I wonder how I'm going to catch a fish today. After a while, you've got these confidence searching flies built up in your repertoire, and believe me, this is one of mine. It's a go-to for sure. So there you have it. And just to do one more step and show you why I like this fly so much, hopefully this is going to be dry enough to just give this a quick dunk in some water, and then I'm going to pop it back into our vise. And you'll see here, I do have a little water sitting by the desk. Imagine that. Oh yeah, that's nasty right there. I'm such a fan. Let me get this back in and grab. And there you have it, folks. A very effective, very simple, very quick to tie little nightmare leech. And in the water, all this is just going to breathe and move, and it is a come and get it sort of signal for those fish. So there you go, easy enough. Tie a bunch of these, go hit the water this week, and hopefully you catch a pile of fish. If you like this, please by all means hit like, hit subscribe. We will see you all on the water.